Salutations, Internet! I am Nova Starlight, creator and developer of Pines Quest: A Romance of Two Dimensions, or Pines Quest 2D, or PQ2D for short. For anyone who may have just clicked on this video and doesn't know what PQ2D is, it's a Gravity Falls fan game that I developed from 2016 until 2020, though the last version of the game that I released was in 2018. The game was made in RPG Maker VX Ace and was envisioned as a spiritual successor to Pines Quest, an official browser game released in 2013. While the original Pines Quest played similarly to a classic top-down Legend of Zelda game, Pines Quest 2D is an Earthbound-esque turn-based RPG with a story that acts as a sequel to the TV series. Recently, in honor of the Book of Bill, I released my own book, and by book I mean Google document, detailing what the rest of the game would have been beyond the released version. Part 1 of this video is going to be me going through what of the game is playable, offering a behind-the-scenes look with some developer insight and commentary, while Part 2 is basically a video version of the full game document going over the rest of it, including showcasing cutscenes that were either fully or partially completed from the game's previously unreleased back half. Also, instead of the released early access version, which is version 0.8, I'm going to be playing through my own playtesting build, which includes the first half of level 6 and Gideon as a playable character, which is not in the released version, so that will be pretty cool. Everyone will get to see that for the first time. So without further ado, let's begin. Disclaimer stating that this is a fan game. Please do not sell it, that's illegal. This is a warning I had to put up for Let's Players of the early access version. While most of the game's music will not result in a content ID, the Gravity Falls main theme song on the title screen will, so we're going to have to speed through that really quickly. There's the title screen, it has the theme song, go go go! Starting the game, we have an opening cutscene. A mysterious character speaks as they're surrounded by the sound of crackling flames. We burn this world to the ground. Finally, we can make a brand new world. A perfect world, just for us and everyone like us. And the best part is, it'll be our world. We'll rule it together. And I'll be by your side for all of eternity. Right? You're all I have now. Without you, I'm all alone. And I don't ever want to be alone again. So you'll stay with me. Forever. Won't you? That was the voice of the game's main antagonist. Or more accurately, it's a memory of them. Of course, memories don't always depict the exact truth, especially when they belong to someone known for lying and even gaslighting himself. Switching to Dipper's perspective. My name is Dipper. The girl asleep next to me with her pig is my sister Mabel. We just had the most magical, unbelievable summer of our lives in the town of Gravity Falls, Oregon. Literally. Turns out, Gravity Falls is a place filled with all kinds of strange, supernatural weirdness. We fought gnomes. Ghosts. Zombies. Rescued a merman. Met a time traveler. Our great Uncle Stan even brought back his twin brother, who was lost in another dimension for 30 years. And craziest of all, we saved the world from the apocalypse. This nightmare demon abomination named Bill Cipher tore open a rift in the fabric of reality and unleashed chaos everywhere. If we hadn't stopped him, Weirdmageddon would have spread across the entire universe. But we did it. We defeated Bill and turned everything back to normal. Well, as normal as Gravity Falls could be anyway. Now the summer's over, but even after leaving town while we were on our way home, it seemed there was still one more adventure waiting for us. Huh? Where am I? This looks like the forest around the Mystery Shack. But that's... Dipper looks down and notices a brightly colored pamphlet in his hand. Where'd this come from? It reads, Welcome to Pines Quest, a romance of two dimensions. Move around using the arrow keys. Hold shift while walking to run. Press Z to interact with things or confirm a selection. Press X to cancel or open the menu. For more options, press F1. You can read more information by opening the menu, selecting items, selecting key items, then selecting the pamphlet. Have fun! Okay. Exclamation points. Mabel! Where's Mabel? You got a pamphlet. And we are now in control of Dipper. Heading left of the first screen here, we come across a graveyard. A graveyard? Since when has there been a graveyard all the way out here? These gravestones all have strange symbols written on them. I have no idea what they mean. Who in the world was buried here? Exploring around the graveyard, we find a spot over here where the ground feels odd. But over here, we have our very first mystery box. What's this thing? Oh, maybe the pamphlet says something about it. Aha! Here we go! If you encounter an object that appears to have a lock, you will find that this is simply an illusion, and you may open the object. Inside, you will find a riddle. Write the answer on the back of the riddle and place it back in. If your answer is correct, the illusory lock will disappear and there will now be a special reward inside. Please be aware, answers are case-sensitive and will never contain number characters. If an answer is 2 words, the first letter of both words will be capitalized. Example, Gopher Road. Alright, let's give it a try. Dipper opens the box and takes out a piece of paper. It reads, "From the Journal of Mr. Caesar." And here we have a code. From the Journal of Mr. Caesar means that this is a Caesar cipher. Once decoded, the message reads, "Who is the leader of the gnomes?" The answer, of course, is Jeff. For solving the mystery box, we get a golden pendant. Let's give that to Dipper. By the way, Dipper's class is Pine Tree, the book smarts half of the Mystery Twins, just turned 13 years old, loves learning and adventure. There's nothing else to do here now, so let's head back. Now heading to the right. Ugh, Dipper, help! I dropped my grappling hook and the gnomes are being huge butt faces again. Uh-oh, seems Mabel is being accosted by gnomes. Hey, how many times do we have to tell you she doesn't want to be your queen? Ugh. Don't worry, Mabel, I've got a plan. And that plan involves getting a spear. Forgot the Manitar spear. Dipper equipped it. Here we have a combat tutorial. I wanted to make the game as accessible as possible to all Gravity Falls fans, even those who aren't familiar with RPGs or have never even played one before. As a result, the tutorial is kind of long and not very interesting. In a completed version of the game, I would have liked to do something to make it more engaging, maybe by having an illustrated version of the tutorial pamphlet appear on screen. Get away from my sister! Gnomes have engaged the party as our first battle begins. Dipper doesn't have any techniques or magic yet, so all we can do is attack. Whenever you get a critical hit, it says that hit was totally cray-cray. Gnomes defeated, Dipper was victorious, EXP received, and gold found. The gnomes ran away. Mabel picked up her grappling hook. Thanks, bro, those guys came right out of nowhere. Speaking of out of nowhere, how'd we get here? Last thing I remember, we were on the bus. I was about to ask you the same thing. I remember being on the bus too, but now it looks like we're back in Gravity Falls somehow. Maybe we went through a wormhole, and the giant space worms from the future ate the bus but spat us out. Or what if we've been cursed so that we can never actually leave town? What? No way, we're not cursed. At least I hope not. Hey, you got your old hat back too. Huh? Whoa, you're right. What the heck is going on here? Wait a second, where's Waddles? Waddles? Waddles! He's probably around here somewhere. Don't worry, we'll find him. After that, let's head to the Mystery Shack and figure out what to do from there. I guess not everything's back to normal yet after all. Yeah, I guess not. Mabel joined your party. Mabel is a shooting star, the street smarts half of the Mystery Twins, just turned 13 years old, loves pigs, sweaters, and fun. Let's move on to the next screen. Wait, bro, you got hurt fighting those gnomes, yeah? Here, watch this. Mabel holds out her hand, which starts to glow. In a flash of light, Dipper's wounds are instantly healed. Oh my gosh, I feel great now. How'd you do that? I found this pamphlet thingy that showed me how. It said if I concentrate really hard and think warm and fuzzy thoughts, I can make a light that heals people. I always knew I was a witch. Just you wait, Dipper. When we get home, there's going to be 2 letters waiting for us that say we've been accepted to wizard school. I'm not so sure about that, but could I see that pamphlet? I actually found one too. Sure, here you go. Dipper takes a look at the pamphlet. It reads, healing magic can be used anytime, even outside of battle. Press X to open the menu and select skills, select Mabel, then magic. Then select heal, followed by which party member you want to recover HP. Remember to keep an eye on your MP. Good luck and use your magic wisely. There's also something here about how to cast elemental spells during battle. I'll have to try that next time if those gnomes come after us again. A hint that once he levels up, Dipper will learn an offensive magic spell. Heading over here... Ooh! So every level in the game has an enemy that's rarer than the rest. This is the one for this area, Shmebulok. He's no match for the Mystery Twins. With Shmebulok defeated, we claim more EXP and gold. And get a gnome cap. Some enemies actually drop items. Let's give Dipper that gnome cap. But over here, we find an axe in a tree stump. Ooh, check out this axe. Let's take it with us. I bet it'll come in handy. For what? I don't know, axe things? Mabel tries as hard as she can to pull the axe out of the stump, but eventually loses her grip and falls backwards, making an oof sound as she hits the ground. Ah, poop darn. Maybe I could give it a try? No offense, Dippin' Dots, but you aren't exactly muscly McMuscles either. You've got a point. Maybe we should come back here with someone stronger. And more axe proficient, perhaps. A hint to come back here with Wendy when she's in your party. Gnome engaged the party, and a barfing gnome engaged the party. They're not so tough. Dipper's party was victorious, and Dipper is now level 2 and learned how to use Wind Slash, his first magic attack. Over here we've got something familiar. Caution, bottomless pit. Do not fall in or you may never come back out the top, and if you do, it won't be for at least 22 minutes. If you try to head south, Mabel will stop you. Hey Dipper, I think I saw something up and to the right over there. Let's check it out. Alright. Over here we find our first mystery bag. You open the mystery bag. You got a magic battery. Look, there's another pamphlet in here. Let's see what it says. You can use items like this from the menu or during battle. While you're adventuring, always make sure to explore the area thoroughly and look for treasure. You may even discover some secrets. Now let's head south and keep looking for waddles. The item we got, Magic Battery, recovers 50 MP, a battery that stores magic instead of electricity. Alright, now let's head south. On the next screen, and to the right, we come across another mystery bag by this car. We got an antidote. An antidote removes poison from the party, a magical potion of purification. Heading down and to the left, another mystery bag. We got some Smile Dip. Smile Dip revives a knocked out ally. I thought this stuff was banned in America. There's an outhouse here. Be careful, an ogre could pop out at any moment. Actually, recently I met a 15-year-old who didn't know what Shrek was at all, and I had never felt older in my life. Continuing east to the next screen. Over here, we've got we got more gnomes. Thankfully, we got the upper hand, meaning we'll get to attack first. But yes, here we have the iconic giant footprint with the smaller footprint inside from the show's theme song. Continuing this way and up a bit, we find another mystery bag by this dead tree. We got some Pit Cola. Pit Cola recovers 500 HP, peach-flavored soda, and named after one of the artists on Gravity Falls, Joe Pitt. But what's this pathway back here? Here we have our first secret area. In the completed game, every stage would have had a secret area. These secret areas would have each contained a special mystery box, a child wise beyond his years. Being seen as one is what he fears. Stars that shine upon your head, let them lead you through the journey ahead. Solve my riddle. The box would then provide you with a code, although you wouldn't be able to solve it without a key obtained later in the game. The poem here talks about Dipper, so this box here would have given Dipper's ultimate weapon once the code was solved. Okay, let's head back. Heading back down and north, we continue on to the next screen. In this area, we have a trash can. Dipper rummages through the trash can, but finds nothing useful. Let's try again. Dipper rummages through the trash can, but doesn't find anything useful. Ugh, you gotta stop looking through the garbage, Dipper. It's gross. I know, but it's like I'm compelled to do it for some reason. Dipper barely lifts the lid off the trash can before Mabel shoots him a death glare. He then slowly puts the lid back on. You'll now get that text whenever you try to interact with any garbage can for the rest of the game. They're still beavers! Up by this bench, we have another mystery bag. We got a plushie. The plushie removes fear from the party. Is it a duck or a panda? Whatever it is, it's adorable and comforting. A bust of famous Oregon Trail settler Grady Meck, who supposedly invented the high five. His wife Fertilia also set a record of giving birth to 42 children. Let's continue on west. Up here, we find some gold, 500 gold, and this rocket. The rocket ride is broken. Stan removed the out of order sign and comes to collect the quarters every once in a while. Over here is a sign. Gravity Falls Lakeside ahead, Gravity Falls Forest to the east. Heading up and to the right, another sign. Mystery Shack to the east, Gravity Falls Lakeside to the west. If you try to continue east, Mabel will say, "We need to find Waddles. Let's keep looking around." Alright, then let's head back. Before heading north here to the lakeside, heal if you need to and save your game. It's time for our first boss. Here we go. Waddles! There you are! What the heck? Ah! Dipper, watch out! Gobblewonker engaged the party! Given this is only the first boss, it's pretty easy. Just use Dipper's Wind Slash magic and you should be good. The Gobblewonker is defeated! Dipper's party was victorious. Mysterious page number 1 found. The Gobblewonker swam away. Was that Old Man McGucket's mechanical Gobblewonker? I don't know. Waddles, are you okay? Oink oink. Yay, I'm so glad you're safe. Now let's head to the Mystery Shack. If you then immediately then go back up to the lakeside, you'll find Gobblewonker again. The Gobblewonker doesn't seem hostile anymore. Old Man McGucket, is that you in there? There's no response. Alright, now that we've found Waddles, we can head to the Mystery Shack. The totem pole is not capped by a Thunderbird, but in fact by a depiction of Colas, the Thunderbird's visually similar brother. Described by Pacific Northwestern legend as block-headed, Colas is gifted with incredible strength, often pretends he is the Thunderbird, and always acts like he has something to prove. But there's probably nothing significant about that. Stay out of the trash, Dipper! I think it's a metaphor. The Mystery Shack, now under new management. Waddles is waiting for you to go inside the Mystery Shack. Guess we better head inside then. Hello? Seuss? Wendy? Uncle Stan? Great Uncle Ford? Where is everyone? The shack should be packed this time of day. And what's that over there? Is Seuss setting up new attractions already? Why, I do believe you mean who, not what, young miss? This fellow has a British accent. I'll do my best, but sorry in advance if I totally screw it up. Whoa, it talks! Wait a minute. Floating shape with a hat and a tie? He's gotta be another one of Bill's demon henchmen. Why didn't you disappear after we defeated Bill? Did you bring us back here? What have you done with everyone in the Mystery Shack? My word, take it easy, dear boy. I haven't the foggiest idea who or what you're referring to. And I'll have you know I am in fact no demon. I am a mere traveling salesman, that is all. So wait, you don't know who Bill is? Not in the slightest. Please, allow me to introduce myself. A. Tad Square, at your service. I decided to set up shop in this diminutive reality after receiving a tip I might obtain some excellent business here. It's charmingly that the boat was entirely uninhabited when I arrived, across my four sides. Do you think he's telling the truth? I'm not sure, but I don't trust him. Where'd you come from, anyway? Why, another dimension, of course! Though I myself originally hail from the second dimension, my last transaction was in Dimension 52. Lovely place, if I do say so myself. Truly enchanting. I almost miss it already. But as I said, I am a traveling salesman, peddling my wares wherever business is booming. I don't know, Dipper. I think he just wants to sell stuff. Maybe not all dapper, floaty shape guys are apocalypse-causing jerks. I'll tell you what, as a gesture of goodwill to you children, I provide you with a special discount. I'll even buy any items you don't need. Especially since I would highly recommend stocking up on rations and means to defend yourselves if you're going to go searching for your friends. But it appears this realm is absolutely brimming with hostile creatures. Although here we seem to be safe at least. Haven't spotted a single beast in this area since I arrived. Alright, in the interest of not discriminating against, whatever you are, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt and let you help us. Jolly good show. You know, I did in fact spy a rather curious area to the east. Perhaps it may be worth investigating after you kiddies purchase some of my fine goods, of course. We'll make sure to check it out then. Thanks. Now let's shop till we drop. You know, so we're prepared. We don't really have any cash on us, but we beat up some gnomes in the woods and they dropped these gold coins. Could we pay you with those? Why, that would be positively perfect. Gold is one of the few multi-universally accepted currencies, you know. Bit of financial advice for you children. Always make sure to purchase as much gold as possible before making interdimensional transactions. Works for us. So there's a story behind A. Tad Square, and it has to do with a character in Gravity Falls named Tad Strange. Tad Strange is voiced by an actor named Cecil Baldwin, who was the host of an audio drama called Welcome to Night Vale. I don't know how well known or popular Night Vale still is, but it was about a very weird and bizarre town called Night Vale, where just the most absolutely freakish and terrifying things would happen. But it was all treated by the town as completely normal, like that's just how this extremely weird town operates. Like having a 5-headed dragon run for mayor is just another Tuesday for the people living there. It was huge around the same time Gravity Falls was airing, and naturally, because they were kind of similar, it was loved by a lot of Gravity Falls fans as well. The announcement that Cecil Baldwin would voice a character in Gravity Falls named Tad Strange was posted on his website months before the episode featuring him aired, causing the fanbase to go absolutely rabid with theories and speculation. We didn't know anything about this character except his name and the fact he was voiced by Cecil Baldwin. However, there was one other piece of information. During Bill Cipher's official Reddit AMA, where Alex Hurst answered questions in character as Bill, a question was asked about Tad Strange's identity, and the reply was, "Tad's a real square." Fans proceeded to take this literally. We imagined Tad Strange was a creature like Bill, but a square instead of a triangle, of course. He was usually blue or purple, and instead of wearing a top hat and bow tie, he was usually depicted wearing a bowler hat and necktie. Some artists also gave him a parasol like Bill's cane, and a single mouth instead of a single eye, though the most popular depiction was of him having an eye with a sideways pupil like a goat. I remember he was the subject of a bunch of AUs, like there was this one where he and Bill were basically demonic fairy godparents to Dipper and Mabel called Guardians, which was pretty funny. Anyway, once the episode with Tad Strange, Season 2's The Stanturian Candidate, actually aired, we found out Tad is actually just an ordinary human who basically exists to give Cecil a cameo in the show. Some people kept the character the fandom created by giving him a different name, though I love the AUs where Tad still is an interdimensional square alien, just disguised as a seemingly ordinary human. That's an incredibly base compromise. But yeah, one new name for him was Dot Matrix, which Seuss actually references in the game later. I thought and still do think it was incredibly amazing and awesome to see this collective creative effort by the whole Gravity Falls fanbase. Like, he really was fandom Tad Strange. He had no singular creator. To me, he really represented some of the most wonderfully wild things that can happen in a fandom, so I really wanted to pay tribute to him in Pine's Quest 2D. Conveniently, he also doubles as a reference to Ace Square, the protagonist of the novel Flatland, A Romance of Many Dimensions by Edwin Abbott, which is very thematically important to Pine's Quest 2D and his story. The reason why Square is an Englishman is because so was Edwin Abbott. Also, I think the idea of Square floating around on his parasol like Mary Poppins is just way too funny. I love picturing that. Cheerio, kiddies! Here, have a sample on the house to celebrate the first of our hopefully many business dealings. You got an instant portal. This nifty little contraption will instantly transport you back to this place, no matter where you are. I recommend keeping at least one on your person at all times. Do be careful with it, however. You wouldn't want your organs rearranged now, or for you to spontaneously gain the ability to smell colors. Chartreuse is absolutely putrid. Now, have a look at some of my other wares, won't you? Of course, Square is the game's one and only shop. He sells both consumable items and equipment. Some of these include a Power Pop CD, which removes sleep from the party, an energetic mix of music including Several Times and Baba, a camera, which removes silence from the party, say cheese, a scrapbook, which removes confusion from the party, sweet summer memories, some eye drops, which removes blind from the party, your vision will clear up instantly, now hold still and don't blink, a magic flashlight, which removes shrink from the party, this will get you back to normal size in no time, along with instant portals, magic batteries, smile dip, and other health restoring items. And then, of course, we have equipment. Let's buy some weapon upgrades for Dipper and Mabel. Pleasure doing business with you! Aside from the shop, there's a couple of other things of note around the Mystery Shack. Heal, you can heal your party. You touch the mysterious magical energy. Everyone's HP and MP is restored. You can also save the game here, though you can just save any time from the menu, as long as you're not in a battle. An authentic Fiji Merman. Hopefully none of Mermando's relatives look like this. It's the singing salmon, spending all day jamming. It's a fortune-telling machine. You press the button and it prints out a fortune. It says, "That gum you like is going to come back in style." The fortune-telling machine actually gives a different message every time you complete a level. Speaking of secret messages, let's take a look at that mysterious page item that we got from defeating the Gobblewalker. A page that looks like it was torn out of an old book. What could it mean? Alas, a few years ago, I should have said my universe, but now my mind has been open to higher views of things. You feel like this may be important later. This is an excerpt from Flatland. Every boss in the game would drop one of these mysterious note items, except the final two and the optional bosses, and after clearing level 10 the player would need to put them together to create a key to a coded message. Decoding that message would then allow the player access to the game's final level. With our new weapons equipped, let's head out and to the east. Stan promised not to tell Dipper and Mabel's parents about them driving the golf cart when they aren't even old enough to have a license. What an awesome great uncle. And up here, we come to the game's hub area. Whoa, what is this place? It's like some sort of spooky hideout. Let's look around, but be careful. Roger that, Dipping Sauce. Each one of the game's levels, except the first one, can be accessed through these doors. If the level is open, the eye on the door will be as well. Also, normally this door isn't here. Because this is a developer build, this door gives you access to the game's debug room, which was used to test certain things. There's one other thing of note here, though. Dipper takes one of the books off the shelves and starts to thumb through the pages. What book is that? I have no idea. It's all written in weird symbols I don't understand. In fact, I'm kind of getting a headache just looking at it. It could be some kind of alien language, or a secret code. We'll have to come back here later with someone who knows more about this stuff. Dipper puts the book back. Alright, it's time to enter level 2, the Man Caves. Hey, where are we now? I think I see a cave up ahead. Oh, I know this place. These are the caves where the Manitars live. Manitars? The, cow monsters, remember? Oh yeah, I love those guys. Let's hope they still like us and don't start attacking us for some reason like the gnomes did. And if they do, we'll show them not to mess with the mystery twins. Head into the caves. Look, it's Soos! Soos! Dipper, Mabel, what are you dudes doing here? We don't know. We were on the bus when all of a sudden we were back in Gravity Falls. We went to the Mystery Shack, but no one was there. Nobody human, anyway. So we went looking for you. Have you seen Wendy, or Grunkle Stan, or Great Uncle Ford? Nope, sorry dudes, I gotta be honest. I have, no idea how I got here either. There's definitely something super normal going on. Don't you mean supernatural, or paranormal? I mean both, dudes. And I bet if you two want to get home, we're gonna have to get to the bottom of this especially paranatural phenomenon. You're probably right. Let's keep searching and see if anyone else is here too. You sure about that, Hambone? These Manitar guys seem kind of mad about me crashing their bro cave. I don't think we have much of a choice if we want to make sure everyone's alright. We'll be fine as long as we stick together. You got it, dudes! Onward to victory! Soos joined your party. Soos is a question mark. 22 years old, former handyman, and now owner of the Mystery Shack. He's like a big brother to the twins. Before we continue on, though, let's head back to the shack for a moment now that we have Soos in our party. Ah, I see you found one of your friends. Tad Square, the pleasure's all mine, good sir. Tad Square, you look more like a dot matrix. You wouldn't believe how often I hear that. Not to mention, I'm always getting mistaken for a fellow named Tad Strange. Must be our similar names. That and you both totally know how to rock a black necktie. Why, thank you, dear girl. But all that aside, we've got just enough money to buy an upgrade for Soos, too. Let's equip him with that and continue onward. Should spar and cage the party. Of course, in the man caves, you'll encounter Manitars. Good thing Soos has lightning magic. Continuing west through the caves. Manitars engage the party. Soos also has an ability called Fire Force. When used on an ally, that ally's attack gains the fire element for 5 turns. Dipper is now level 4, Mabel is now level 4. Before continuing west to the next room, head north. You'll find some gold, 700 to be exact. Now continue down and to the left. What's this? Some gold tantalizingly across the river in an area we can't reach? Don't worry, there's another way to get there. Continue up and to the right. In the next room, we have a mystery bag up on this ledge. You got a scrapbook. Over here by these bones is another mystery bag. You got a Power Pop CD. Current foosball champion, Pituator. Nothing screams man cave like a huge couch with Num's brand Chipackers trademark, the chip-flavored crackers trademark, crumbs between the cushions. Ooh, and here we have the rare enemy for this area, the Multi-Bear. Sorry, Multi-Bear, despite our mutual love of 70s disco, you're going down. The Multi-Bear defeated, Soos is now level 4. A dartboard, but no darts. The Manitars must have started throwing them at trespassers instead. Continue to the west. On this screen, head south. You'll find another mystery bag over here. You got some Pit Cola. Next, head over here, and you'll find this area's mystery box. From the Journal of Mr. Caesar. Once again, this is a Caesar cipher. When decoded, the question reads, where did Melody work at the Gravity Falls Mall? The answer being, meet cute. Spelled like that. We got some golden earrings. Let's give those to Mabel. Yo, watch me bang this gong with my hammer! Wait, that'll probably just attract more Manitars. Aw, good point, dude. Continue to the left. On this screen, immediately head south. You'll find another mystery bag. You got a magic potion. Oh, could this be a secret path? It is, and it leads us to that 1,000 gold that we couldn't get earlier. And also, to this area's secret room. Ever since his 12th birthday, the handyman life has been his way. An adult outside, but a child within. Among the pines you are true kin. Solve my riddle. This treasure box would grant Zeus's ultimate weapon. Nothing else here, so let's head back to the main path. Going north into the next room. Once you're on this screen, head to the right. You'll come to another little lounge area. And also Beardy. You may not actually encounter Beardy. Manly towel found! The manly towel is a towel of supreme manliness. Girls can wear it too, though. We don't judge. Let's give it to Zeus. Yes, here we find another mystery bag. You opened it, and got some Smile Dip. Before heading north, heal if you need to and save the game. It's boss time. Did you guys hear that? Uh-oh. Trespassers! To make it out of these man caves alive, you must prove your manliness by defeating me. Looks like we got a boss fight on our hands. Get ready, dudes! Leader Rar has engaged the party. Leader Rar is a little bit tougher than the last boss. He can hit pretty hard, so make sure to keep an eye on your HP. Other than that, use Dipper's wind magic and Zeus's lightning magic, and you should be good. With a critical hit, Leader Rar is defeated. We claim our second mysterious page. Dipper is now level 5 and learned how to use Guard Boost. Mabel is now level 5 and learned how to use Spell of Light, her first offensive magic spell. Leader Rar collapsed. You've beaten our leader unconscious. Truly, you're all as manly as they come. I'm a girl, but I'll still take that as a compliment. Ha ha ha, come back and spar with us anytime. So nobody else was here after all. Guess we gotta go look somewhere else. Alright, then let's head back. Huh? How'd we get back to the shack so fast? Did one of you guys use the instant portal thing? I didn't use it. Me neither. Dude, it's like space is a twist tie and time is a bendy straw. Guys, I know it seems cray-cray, but what if Bill's doing this? That's impossible. We defeated Bill. All that's left of him is a stone statue of what used to be his physical form. Yeah, but Grunkle Stan's memory came back. What if that means Bill came back too? We should talk to that square guy again. He's gotta know something. Let's take a look at that second mysterious page. It is only now and then in some very remote and backward agricultural district that an antiquarian may still discover a square house. Let's heal up, then talk to Square again. How is your quest progressing? Anything I can help you kiddies with? Are you sure you don't know anything about what's going on, or why we keep suddenly ending up in random places? I don't think the gnomes or the Manitars remember us either. Maybe that's why they've been acting weird and trying to beat us up. Unfortunately, as I mentioned before, I am still quite new to this dimension and thus know very little about it. However, it would appear several portions of this reality are rather disconnected. What do you mean? What I mean is think of this realm as a series of islands without any bridges connecting them together. As such, there is no proper way to physically travel between them, hence the need for transportation through space itself, a sort of instantaneous boat trip in this metaphor. Wait, are you saying this is affecting the whole world, not just Gravity Falls? I'm quite unsure, I'm afraid, being so unfamiliar with your tiny corner of the multiverse. My deepest apologies, children. I do honestly wish I could assist you more. That's okay. You're already way nicer and more helpful than Bill ever was. This Bill chap, quite a troublemaker, I presume. You don't know the half of it, dude. I guess for right now, we just gotta go back to the place with all the doors and keep looking for everyone. Perhaps you should restock your supplies or purchase some new equipment before you go, I have new items in stock since your last visit. In fact, I expand my inventory regularly, so I would highly advise checking back often. I bet you'll have more stuff every time we finish a dungeon. Sure, why not? Having completed level 2, let's check the fortune teller machine again. Do you remember the ending to Saint Elsewhere? Out of all the fortune-telling machines, this one is the most significant in terms of foreshadowing, assuming you get the reference. For those who don't, Saint Elsewhere was a medical drama TV series that famously ended with an autistic boy named Tommy looking into a snow globe. Inside the snow globe was a replica of St. Eligus Hospital, the primary setting of the show. It's popularly theorized that this implies the entire series was nothing more than a product of Tommy's imagination. So you might be thinking, what, does that mean this is all a dream or something? None of this is really happening? No, I can assure you, all of this is really happening to these characters, but, well, you'll see later. I promise it'll make sense. Now that we have a bunch of gold, let's stock up on some items and maybe get some upgrades too. Magic batteries and smile dips are always a good to have on hand. Remember to sell back your old equipment. Once you're ready, head to the hub and continue the search. However, before you can, you're presented with a cutscene. Where am I? Says a weak voice. That's a good question, answers an ethereal voice. Your physical form is still right where you left it. As for the rest of you, that's here with me, for the moment. You're lucky I heard your call. What? I'm somewhat surprised. You failed to heed my warnings, cursed me, and called me a... what was it again? Frilly know-it-all? And yet, you invoked my name. Just get to the point already. Very well, then I must ask you something. Do you wish to be forgiven? I haven't done anything wrong. Liar. Hey! You lie about a lot of things, don't you? Listen, pal, take it from someone who knows almost as much as you. The truth is overrated. Lie enough and eventually you won't be lying anymore. Is that really what you think? Knowing isn't the same as understanding. I wonder what would make you understand. I understand plenty, but something tells me you already have an idea. As a matter of fact, I do. One way to absolve your crime. A different form, a different time. Years from now, upon Earth's soil, reborn into the mortal coil. To flesh and blood your soul now bound, until atonement may be found. No. No! Please, anything but that! I don't want to be one of them! I don't want to be human! Would you rather cease to exist completely? You almost didn't make it out alive. I held up my end of the bargain. Now, it's time for you to finally pay your debts. Please, I'm begging you. There has to be another way. Perhaps. Well, we'll see. Be a good prisoner now, so that I may continue to be a kind warden. Wait! It's been a pleasure, as always. Of course, if it wasn't obvious, this cutscene is between Bill, the weak voice, and the axolotl, the ethereal voice. When I originally wrote this cutscene, the idea was that Bill is barely alive, but his soul has been trapped within Stan's mind by the axolotl, which the game's antagonist exploits in order to revive him. When Alex Hirsch debunked the theory that Bill was still in Stan's mind, I had to rewrite this scene slightly as well as rework this part of the story, which proved very difficult since I already commissioned cutscene artwork related to this plot point. I did manage to come up with a workaround in the end, but it's sadly a bit sloppy. If I didn't already have the artwork, I probably would have come up with a completely different method altogether that the antagonist resurrects Bill. More on that, though, when we get to level 6's cutscenes. For now, I'll just say Axie threatening to reincarnate Bill as a human is very important. There's someone other than Bill who he wanted to hear this. It's time to head into level 3, the Enchanted Forest. Now it looks like we're in another part of the forest. Oh my gosh, look you guys, it's Wendy! Wendy, over here! Whoa, Seuss? Dipper? Mabel? What the heck is going on? We wish we knew, so what happened was... One explanation later... I see, so you two were on the bus home when you somehow got brought back to the Mystery Shack, while Seuss ended up in some caves and now I'm here. The whole town's gone all wibbly-wobbly, spacey-wacy or something. Let's hope the barrier that kept Bill and his minions inside Gravity Falls is doing the same for whatever's causing this, or whoever. At least that would mean it's not happening to the entire planet. Hey, Stan's bro is a big weirdness expert, right? I bet he's got an idea of what's up. We should look for him. That's a great idea. Yeah, Great Uncle Ford will know what to do. We all better stick together while we look. I've got a bad feeling the creatures in the forest might come after us like the gnomes and manitars did. Don't worry, man. I got your back. And hey, Dipper, when this is all over, let's trade hats again and hope it sticks this time. You got it. Wendy joined your party. Wendy is an ice pack, 15 years old, cashier at the Mystery Shack. Daughter of a lumberjack, the coolest person ever. With Wendy in tow, let's head back to the Mystery Shack just for a moment. Let's buy Wendy a better axe. Speaking of Wendy and axes, now that she's with us, maybe we can get that axe out of the stump in the gnome forest. It's a little bit of a walk back there, but the enemies should be really easy now. Also, you can just run away from them if you want. Alright, we've made it back to the axe and the stump. Hey Wendy, why don't you try pulling the axe out of that stump? I bet you could use it as a weapon. That's a great idea, man. I'll give it a try. Wendy grabs the handle of the axe and starts pulling. Dang it, it's super hard to keep a grip on. Despite pulling as hard as she can, the axe won't come out. Sorry guys, it looks small, but it's like stupid heavy for some reason. I can't do it. Aw, that's okay. You tried your best and that's what counts. Yeah, in fact, I think I feel stronger now. Wendy's attack power permanently increased by 5. So, no weapon, but definitely still worth the effort. Alright, with all that taken care of, time to take on the Enchanted Forest. Unicorns engage the party. Oh no, 3 of them even. Just like their counterparts in the show, unicorns are frustrating. Take them out as soon as possible. I actually had to nerf these guys a few times during the early access. And here you can see why. Right here on the first screen, immediately to the right, we have our mystery box. From the Journal of Mr. Caesar, so once again, a Caesar cipher code, the question, when decoded, reads, how many brothers does Wendy have? The answer being 3. For that, we get a candy necklace. The candy on this necklace will make you generate TP faster and give you extra evasion. This is really good on Wendy, since she makes a really good use of techniques and is very agile. An Eyebat engaged the party. It caught us off guard. When an enemy catches you off guard, it means they attack first. Zeus is now level 5 and learned how to use Hammer Bash. Hammer Bash is Zeus's first technique. It may paralyze an enemy. Wendy also has the technique Timber Strike, which is a strong axe attack against one enemy with a chance to lower their defense. Gremloblin and the Hide Behind engage the party. Head up north to the next screen. Over here, by the water, is a mystery bag. We got some Smile Dip. Continue to the west. Zombies engage the party. Next, head south. Over here, under this old tree, is a mystery bag with some eye drops. Continue around into the south again. Over here, by the water, is 1200 gold. After heading south, head east. Zeus is now level 6 and learned how to use Ice Force. Ice Force, when used on an ally, that ally's attack gains the ice element for 5 turns. That'll be really useful for a future boss. To the south and east, again over by this tree, is a mystery bag. We got a Hermanos Brothers taco. Recovers 1000 HP, a tasty, crunchy taco filled with ground beef, lettuce, tomato, and cheese. Continue to the west. When you come to this screen, immediately head south. You'll find a mystery bag containing a magic potion, and if you continue even further south, you'll come to the secret area for this dungeon. Always cool in Danger's face. She goes through life at her own pace. Daughter of the manliest man, the pine tree is your biggest fan. Solve my riddle. This mystery box would eventually grant Wendy's ultimate weapon. Back to the main path. Continue and head north. In this area, we go up and around and then east. Ooh, we've encountered Octavia, the rare enemy for this dungeon. Before heading north to the next screen, go over here to these blue mushrooms. There's another mystery bag containing a magic battery. After getting that, continue on. Before going north again, save and heal if you need to. It's time for the boss. Is that the Summerween Trickster? Didn't Zeus eat him? Yeah, didn't I eat you? Doesn't matter. We're going to have another round of Trick or Treat or Die. Except this time, we're skipping the Trick or Treat and going straight to the Die. Gosh dang it, not again. Zeus, I hope you didn't have lunch today. I totally did, but it's okay, I'll make room. Brace yourselves. Summerween Trickster, engage the party. So, the Trickster's boss theme is actually a vocal version of the battle music used for the rest of the stage. I don't think it was ever actually used in the show, which is a shame because it's really funny. He's not too tough. The main thing you have to watch out for is him inflicting your party with status effects like poison and fear. You have items that can take care of that, though. Eventually, the Trickster goes down. Mysterious page number 3 has been found. Dipper is now level 7, Maple is now level 7, Soos is now level 7, Wendy is now level 7 and learned how to use Ice Crystal. That's a magic attack, though Wendy isn't too good at those. You'll get someone else who better specializes in ice magic later. The Summerween Trickster dissolved into a pile of candy. Unfortunately, it's still loser candy. Phew. Lame. We looked through this whole part of the woods and didn't even find Grunkle Ford. Or Stan, or anyone but more monsters who inexplicably hate us now. Guess we've got no choice but to keep searching somewhere else. Our princess is in another castle. Grunkle Ford's no princess. Except when we're playing Dungeons and more dungeons. You should see him act out Princess Unattainable. He gets really into it. Anyway, let's get going. And so, we're back at the shack yet again. Say, by any chance, do you children happen to be familiar with a pair of elderly men, twin brothers, I presume? Was one wearing a fez and a suit while the other was wearing a red sweater and a long tan jacket? On the money, my boy! Those are our Grunkles. I beg your pardon? Right, uncles. Ah, yes, of course. Forgive me, I'm not particularly up to date with your species' modern terminology. The last time I visited a human dimension was, about 128 years ago. Somehow, I'm not surprised. Do you know where Grunkle Stan and Grunkle Ford are? I'm afraid you all had the most dreadful timing. They were here moments ago before taking off in a hurry. My best assumption is that they went searching for you kitties. Quick, we gotta go after them. Thanks, Square Dude. Anytime, my friends. Don't forget, I'm here to supply you with any provisions you may need as well. For a fair and reasonable price, of course. Let's see what the fortune teller machine has to say now. He has never followed where I've tried to lead him. I'm certain this will be no exception and that fate has other plans, as usual. It's ironic, though. For how much he fears my offer, he's already so much like them. Some musings from the Axolotl. The door to level 4, abandoned mines and bunker tunnels, is now open. Where are we now? The old mines? Looks like it. Kids! Grunkle Stan! Where's Grunkle Ford? Mr. Square said that he was with you when you were at the shack. I lost him somewhere in the mines. This place is even more like a maze than I remember. Cripes, I can't believe you kids got roped into this too. I thought once you were on that bus you'd finally get away from this town's weirdness. Wishful thinking, I guess. It's okay, Grunkle Stan. We've sort of come to like weirdness. As long as it's not a weird apocalypse. You both stay right behind me while we look for my brother. Wendy, Soos, you too. I'm not losing track of anyone else in here. Yes, sir, Mr. Pines. Hey, you're not my boss anymore. Soos is. Wendy, as the newly appointed owner of the Mystery Shack, I order you to do exactly what Mr. Pines says. Should have seen that coming. Stan joined your party. You now have more than 4 characters in your party. The first 4 party members listed from the top of the menu are the ones who will participate in battle. Choose the formation option from the menu to rearrange your party and decide who gets to fight. Don't worry, all characters in your party will receive equal EXP whether or not they participate in battle. Why don't you try opening up the menu, selecting formation, and making Stan the party leader by moving him to the top of the list. I think I'll do exactly that. And bench Soos for the moment. Sorry, Soos. Don't worry, you're going to be really useful again later. Stan is a fez head, 60-something years old, Dipper and Mabel's great uncle, professional con man, and not what he seems. Stan is a powerhouse physical attacker, but the only character in the game who can't use magic at all. Clay Skeletons engage the party. Cycloptopus engage the party. Here, immediately north of where you first entered the dungeon, there is a mystery bag. You got a magic battery. Baby Pterodactyl engage the party. Time Slime engage the party. Before heading west to the next screen, head down and you'll find some gold, 250. Over here, under these big mushrooms, you'll find a mystery bag. You got some Smile Dip. Then continue along the track south. Clay Cyclops and Clay Skeleton engage the party. Mabel is now level 8. Dipper is now level 8 and learned how to use Speed Boost. Wendy is now level 8. Cyclops and Time Slime engage the party. Once again, over here under these big mushrooms is a mystery bag with the Hermanos Brothers taco. Head north to the next screen. Here, continuing north, we have Darlene? Yes, it's the secret enemy for this area, or rare enemy rather. But yes, continuing north here, we find some gold, 1,000 gold, and the only one of these passages that isn't blocked off. Our first secret area for this level. This level's a bit of a 2-in-1, so it actually has 2 secret areas and 2 ultimate weapon boxes. One would have eventually given Stan's ultimate weapon. Let's head back and continue along the path. Stan is now level 9 and learned how to use Guard Boost. When you come to this part here, head down, you'll find another mystery bag. You got a camera. Going back along the tracks, we head east. On the next screen, here just below the tracks, is another mystery bag. We got a Power Pop CD. Heading down and around, we continue to the west. Once you're on the next screen, immediately head north this little way here. You'll encounter an Arachnamorph. You may not actually encounter an Arachnamorph. What you'll actually encounter is a mystery box. From the Journal of Miss Atbash, this code, unlike the ones before, is an Atbash cipher. When decoded, the question asks, what kind of job did Stan and Ford's mom have? The answer to which is Phone Psychic. For solving that, we receive a Mr. Mystery Eye Patch. The Mr. Mystery Eye Patch makes it difficult to wink, but you look so cool that it's worth it. It grants a high TP regeneration rate. Obviously, it's really good on Stan. Continue to the far left of this screen and you'll come across another mystery bag. You got some eye drops. Before continuing north, save your game and heal. When you're ready, head to the next screen. I wonder where that hatch leads. It's already open. Do you think Uncle Ford went this way? Only one way to find out. You shall not pass! I, Probabilitor the Annoying, have come for revenge on your sweet, delicious brains! Yeah, can it, Dweeblord? Get out of our way or I'll divide your face by my fist. Very well, if it's a duel you want, then it's a duel you shall have! Fine, but this time let's forget the dice rolling and go right to the punching. Ready, kids? Charge! And so we have a mid-boss fight against Probabilitor and his minions. The best way to handle this fight is to tackle one enemy at a time until they're knocked out. I recommend starting with the Hot Elf or Probabilitor himself, as they have less HP than the Ogre Guard. 1 down, 2 to go. Alright, only the Ogre Guard left. Somebody once told him the world is gonna roll him. He ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. Because he's facing us. With the Ogre down, we are victorious. Stan is now level 10 and learned how to use Speed Boost. Mabel is now level 9 and learned how to use Super Heal. Yes! Dipper is now level 9. Wendy is now level 9. Seuss is now level 9 and learned how to use Thunder Force. Hey, Grunkle Stan, can I ask you something? Sure. What's on that nerdy brain of yours, kiddo? When we defeated Bill, we did it by erasing your mind while he was inside it, which made you lose your memory. But thanks to Mabel's scrapbook, you were able to get your memory back. Scrapbooks are the answer to everything. Everything, I say! Since you recovered your memories, you don't think it's possible that Bill might have come back too? Yeah, Ford and I thought of that. The only thing about that is, if he did, I know for sure. How would you know, Mr. Pines? Well, think about it. He was erased from my mind, right? So I'd know if he came back, just like my memories did. I guess that makes sense. Ford asked me to write down my dreams in case I saw Bill in any of them, but lately all I've been dreaming about is lizards, not space demon triangles. Lizards. Yeah, for some reason I keep having this dream where I'm underwater, only the water's red. Are you sure it wasn't? It was red water, I'm sure, because there's always a bunch of axolotls swimming around me. What's an axolotl? It's a Mexican amphibious salamander. They're pink with frills on the sides of their heads. That sounds adorable. And strangely familiar. If you say so. Anyway, I bet it's just a weird amnesia recovery side effect or something. Nothing to do with Bill. Come to think of it, if it was Bill doing this, he'd probably come laugh in our faces and brag about how we didn't really stop him after all. If you ask me, I say we can rule him out as the mastermind this time. So if it's not because of Bill, then why is all this happening? Good question. Hopefully once we find my Brainiac twin, he can help us figure it out. With that, we're on to the second half of the dungeon. We were previously in the mines, and now we're in the bunker tunnels. Before heading west to the next screen, go up and over here. You'll find a mystery bag containing a scrapbook. Cosmic Sand found. Mabel is now level 10. Dipper is now level 10 and learned how to use Super Guard. Wendy is now level 10 and learned how to use Cleave. The enemies we fought dropped an item. Cosmic Sand. Raises the entire party's agility for 3 turns if used during a battle. Now let's continue. Along the path you'll see this white sheet. Head to the left and get another mystery bag. You got a plushie. Head north to the next screen. When you come to this part of the room, take a right. You'll find something odd. Oh, whoops, Sue said there, so you dudes are seeing this too, right? For Wendy says, freaky mixed up wall thing? Yep. Should we check it out? I think we should. Here we have our second secret area. That's the portal. But Great Uncle Ford dismantled it. Does that mean somebody rebuilt it? I think Ford needs to see this. Unfortunately, you can't bring Ford back here until much, much later in the game. However, once you do, this mystery box would yield not Ford's ultimate weapon, but Mabel's, as a reference to the I trust you scene in the episode Not What He Seems, one of the most beloved moments in the entire show. Returning to the path, we continue on, and head to the south. At the bottom of the rune here, take a right. You'll find 500 gold. Then continue up and to the left. Making our way around this room, before going to the next one, head to the left. Find our second mystery box. From the Journal of Miss Atbash, again, an Atbash cipher, the question, when decoded, asks what kind of business Stan and Ford's parents had. The answer is a pawn shop. For that, we get a cosmic hourglass. An hourglass filled with cosmic sand, it raises attack speed and agility when equipped. Now we continue south. At this part of the path, head down and to the right. You'll get 500 gold. Heading up some more is a mystery bag with a camera. Before going north to the next screen, heal and save your game. Also, it's a good idea to put Seuss back in the party. He's about to be really useful. Enter the next room when you're ready. There he is! Finally! Yeesh, Poindexter, we've been looking everywhere for you! Ha 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 ha! You single-form creatures are so gullible! It's the shapeshifter! But how'd he get unfrozen? Let's just say it was thought out by a new friend, someone who cares about me way more than the loser who said I was too dangerous and froze me to begin with. Now I can finally go up to the surface and learn all sorts of new forms to take. Not if we can help it, dude. I'll teach you to impersonate my brother. I'm the only one who gets to do that. Bring it on. I fought myself before and I'll do it again. Yeah! We begin a boss fight with the shapeshifter. He's definitely the most difficult boss so far, however, he has a major weakness in the form of the ice element. While Wendy can use ice magic, she's not very good at it. Instead, Seuss's Ice Force can infuse an ally with ice element for 5 turns. Using it on Stan and Wendy will make their physical attacks hit much, much harder. Don't forget to use Stan and Wendy's techniques too. Avoiding his weakness to the ice element, the shapeshifter is defeated. Stan's party was victorious. Our 4th mysterious note has been found. Seuss is now level 10 and learned how to use Thunderbolt. Huff, huff. We beat him? Silly humans, you can never defeat me. This isn't even my final form. Ugh, can't keep fighting much longer. Don't worry, I'll be your meat shield. Ford! For real this time. Ugh, how could you? You raised me from an egg, you 6-fingered nerd. And I'd say you need a timeout. Dude, you should, totally put on a pair of sunglasses right now so I can shout, yeah! What? Sunglasses? We're underground. What purpose would that serve? You saved us, Great Uncle Ford. I could have handled him. Another uppercut to the jaw and that abomination would have been out cold. No offense, Stanley, but since he's my abomination, I'm probably the best person to take care of him. Especially since I can, and just did, put him out a lot colder. Whatever, you geek. So now that we found you, maybe we can finally figure out what's going on with Gravity Falls. Oh yes, of course. Stanley and I were packing for a trip when we suddenly found ourselves instantly teleported to the local diner, where there were no other customers. It was only us and, what was her name again? The one-eyed woman who runs the place. Lazy Susan. Yes, her. Man, that coffee omelet makes breakfast more than twice as efficient. Anyway, I assume you kids were mysteriously brought here as well? Yep, one minute we were on the bus to Piedmont, and next, poof, back in Gravity Falls Forest. I see. We knew something was wrong when we tried to navigate our way home. It was as if Gravity Falls had changed somehow, become more labyrinthine. And once we got to the house, we discovered something even more suspicious. You really have to point your gun at him as soon as we walk through the door? Hey, you were the one telling him to get out of your gift shop and find his own place to peddle overpriced merchandise. Poor square guy. A victim of geometric profiling. I wasn't profiling him, I was just being cautious. And by cautious, do you mean bitter and paranoid over your triangle ex-boyfriend? Phil and I were never... We're getting off topic. The point is, I need to investigate further if I'm going to find out what's happened to Gravity Falls, along with how and why. What about us? Stanley, you stay with the kids. Make sure nothing happens to them. I know I can trust you with that. Hey, if you think I'm just gonna sit and warm the benches while you play the hero all on your own, then you've got another thing coming, smarty pants. I saved this town once already, and I can sure as sugar honey iced tea do it again. Fair enough. Let's all meet back at the Mystery Shack as soon as we've found any new clues or information. Are you sure, Uncle Ford? Why don't you come with us? I'm positive we'll make better, faster progress if we split up. Besides, you don't need to worry about me. I was an interdimensional outlaw for 30 years. You wouldn't believe the things I've encountered. Whatever's out there, I'm sure I can handle it. Oh yeah, that's right. I read what you wrote about your adventures through the multiverse in the journal. I wanted to ask you some more things about those other realities, like... Sorry, Dipper, we'll have to discuss it later. For now, let's get moving. We can't afford to waste any time. Good luck, everyone. I have the feeling we'll need it. So now what? We should keep searching and investigating, like Great Uncle Ford said. Is there anybody else who could lend us a hand? Maybe we should look for them too. Hey, what about Old Man McGucket? He's good at science and making giant robots and stuff. What if he can help? You know, that's not a bad idea. He was Ford's old partner. The guy knows his way around nuclear-powered machinery, that's for sure. Really could have used his know-how when I was trying to fix the portal and bring Ford back. Too bad he drove himself crazy with that memory erasing, Gizmo. I heard he moved into Northwest Mansion. Or former Northwest Mansion. I guess it's McGucket Mansion now. You think one of those spooky magic doors will take us there? Only one way to find out. We've collected a few more of the mysterious pages, so let's take a look at them. It is only now and then, in some very remote and backward agricultural district, that an antiquarian may still discover a square house. With us, as with you, these triangles are distinguished from others by being called isosceles, and by this name I shall refer to them in the following pages. Add to this the power of making herself practically invisible at will, and you will perceive that a female in Flatland is a creature by no means to be trifled with. What message do we get from the fortune teller now? Replacement Morty voucher. Redeem at the Citadel of the Council of Ricks if your Morty is lost, stolen, or irreparably damaged. Yeah, I'm not really a Rick and Morty fan anymore, but since it and Gravity Falls have canonically crossed over, kind of, I guess the reference still deserves to be here. Ah, I see you returned. Pardon my curiosity, but where is the man in the long coat? Probably off being awesome somewhere. Hey, no hard feelings about earlier, Smiley. A bad experience with the triangles made my brother a little trigger-happy when it comes to folks of your persuasion. Oddly enough, I can sympathize. I've known some particularly troublesome three-sided folk in my time as well. Sorry for trying to kick you out of the shack, too. Technically, I don't even own the place anymore. No worries, my good man. Consider yourself and your sibling forgiven. We've got a bunch of gold, so let's buy some stuff. Ooh, Square is selling bows. I wonder who these could be for. Oh hey, I almost forgot about Waddles. Waddles! Oink, oink. Be a good pig while we're gone, okay? Oink. Time to head into the next level. Northwest Mansion is now open. Hey, that looks like Pacifica over there. I thought she didn't live here anymore. Oh my gosh, I seriously never thought I'd say this, but I'm really happy to see you guys. Something super weird is going on, and I need your help. Let me guess, you were at the 5-star hotel where you and your family have been staying, when the next thing you know, all of a sudden you're here. Actually, we're renting a condo. But yeah, pretty much. Also, for some reason, my cell's not getting any reception, so I can't call for a limo to come pick me up. I tried going in to use the landline, but a bunch of monsters started attacking me. Good thing I was on my way to practice. Still, there's way too many for me to handle them all myself. Besides, that's what the butler's for. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask about that bow and quiver you've got there. That's right, I've been the country club archery tournament champion every year since I was 5. Jealous, Mabel? You know, Pacifica, you say I'm a silly loser, but you seem to care an awful lot about what I think. Who says I care? Anyway, are you going to help me fight the monsters so I can get to a working phone or not? That depends. How much are you willing to pay, princess? You're kidding, right? Don't worry, we'll help you free of charge. That's what friends are for. I never said this makes us friends. Let's just get this over with. Dude, she's like totally Sunda right now. I have no idea what you just said, but it better have meant that my hair looks amazing. Pacifica has joined your party. She is a llama, 13 years old, the richest and most popular girl in town, not quite as snobby as she used to be. With Pacifica in tow, let's head into the mansion. This first room is a dining room, and we want to head north. But oh no, Wax Coolio has engaged the party, along with Wax Shakespeare. Let's take out Wax Coolio first. He can confuse our allies, which is really annoying. Pacifica, by the way, excels in debuff skills and status-inflicting moves. She can also cast Earth Magic. Her techniques also deal damage to all enemies with a chance to inflict a status effect, which is really useful. On the next screen here, we have this Ice Pacifica sculpture. Behind it is an item, a smoke bomb. The smoke bomb guarantees escape from any battle you can run away from. At the fireplace, head to the left and down to continue. Wax Lizzie Borden engaged the party, along with Wax Genghis Khan. Here in the next room, we have a staircase leading down. Let's go through it and find a mystery bag with a magic potion. Next, head to the right. Continue to the right this way. Keep going, and eventually we come to not only a mystery bag with some smile dip, but our secret area. My favorite one in the entire game. Not so fine coffee. This mystery box would have eventually given Pacifica's ultimate weapon. Okay, time to go back and continue on the regular path. Taxidermy Terror engaged the party! Back here, we head north. Head east past these tables. Aha, see, we're in this room again, but now we're upstairs. Taxidermy Horror and Taxidermy Terror engage the party. Wax Sherlock Holmes engage the party, along with Wax Coolio again. Continue to the right and down. In this next room, down and to the left here, we have more enemies. But also we have a mystery bag. A Power Pop CD. Before going east to the next room, get this mystery bag here. It's got a camera. We're almost halfway through this level. Wax Head of Larry King has engaged the party! Head to the door in the center of this room. Girls! Mabel! Howdy! Ah! Mabel, calm down. I can't hear McGuckin. We came here to ask for his help, remember? Oh, right. Sorry. But wait, what are my besties doing here anyway? It was the strangest thing. Grenda and I were playing my favorite JRPG, Kingdom of Belts and Sippers 3.7.014, when we both started feeling really sleepy. That's why I hate long cutscenes. We should have just held shift to skip through it. When we woke up, we were here, in this library, with a bearded librarian. Now I told you gals I ain't a librarian. Still, I appreciate your company. It's been real lonely round here since my raccoon wife left me again. I'm not even going to ask. So what's with the gizmo? Oh, I'm just fiddling with this fang-diggling contraption. Should help with something. Can't quite remember. I thought it was supposed to find out what brought us here. And why there's monsters, too. Whew, Nelly, that's right. Really? That's exactly what we need. Then what's the holdup? Go ahead and turn it on already. Well, this here doohickey is missing the knob dangler that goes right on in this here part, but the tools and pieces I need ain't here. If I had them, this'd be all together in a jiff. You need tools? I got, like, all kinds of tools, dude. Well, actually just a hammer. Do you need a hammer? Afraid not. If you know where it is, we could always go get your stuff for you. Would you really? That'd be mighty kind of you. It'd be our pleasure. Where do we need to go? Well, now, I reckon the last time I saw him was in a room round the same size as this one. I'm thinking you call it a parlor? This here shed's a bit bigger than I remember. Ugh, not that room. The parlor just hasn't been comfortable since I saw the stuffed and mounted animal heads talk and spew blood from their mouths. But at least there's a phone in there. I can finally call for a ride and ditch the lame patrol. Come on, admit it. You're having fun hanging out with us. I am so not. You can't prove anything. She's having fun. Unfortunately, we are not wielders of unlocking sabers, so we cannot fight the spiritless. Instead, we wish you heroes the best of luck on your quest. Punch some things for Grenda! If you talk to Grenda again, she'll say, punch some bad guys for Grenda. Let's talk to Candy. Have you ever played Kingdom of Belts and Zippers 3.7.014? The villain is my favorite character. He's very mysterious though, so we don't learn anything about his backstory until the very last chapter of the game. And even then, it's only a couple of lines. No details at all. I was so disappointed. I hope we learn more about him in the next sequel. Maybe he'll be forced to team up with the heroes to take on a new enemy. Laying it on thick with the foreshadowing there, Candy. I really appreciate the favor, fellas. I ain't so good in a fight, so I wouldn't be no help against them ornery critters. This beard can drive a stick, but it sure can't throw a punch. In this room, we also have some loot. This mystery bag has an instant portal, in case you need another one of those, and 5,000 gold. Let's save the game and get ready for the second half of the level. In the next room, we head to the north. In this room, we head up, then down, then to the left. We find another mystery bag, a plushie. Head down and left again to the next room. Here's our rare enemy for this level, which is... Man, I don't even know what this thing is. Stan is now level 12 and learned how to use Tiger Fist! Here in this room, we head north. In this room, head right and then down for a mystery bag. You got a Hermanos Brothers taco. Then head up here to get a magic battery. After that, we go back, then head up and to the left into the next room. A straight shot to the left again takes us into the next room. Here, we finally have our mystery box. It's another Atbash cipher. When decoded, it asks, what country was Marius from? He hailed from Austria. We have received a silver mirror. The silver mirror is a useful tool when hunting ghosts. It decreases damage taken against elemental attacks. After going up the stairs and passing the portraits, head south into the next room. The white room, to be exact. Mabel is now level 12 and learned how to use Revive. Awesome, so now we don't have to rely solely on Smile Dips to revive our knocked out allies anymore. Dipper also is now level 12 and learned how to use Magic Wall. Wendy is now level 12 too. Head down the stairs and continue left. Seuss is now level 12 and learned how to use Shock. Up and around this room, we head north to the next one. In this room, head to the right and then up. You'll find 5,000 gold. Next, head over to the far left. Here is a mystery bag with some Smile Dip. Head back to the center, heal if necessary, and save your game. I also recommend tagging out Stan and Wendy if they're in your party for other characters, since they're at a severe disadvantage against the boss that we're about to fight. When you're ready, head into the next room. Ugh, this place still gives me the major creeps. Let's find the old man's junk so I can use the phone and get out of here already. This must be it. You got machine parts, McGucket's tools, and an odd note. I smell... Huh? Did you say something, Uncle Stan? Nah, I didn't say. I smell... anything? Oh man. A Northwest! Northwest, why have you come back here? This place no longer belongs to you. Hey, it wasn't my fault. I've been trying to leave this whole time. Plus, didn't I already break your dumb curse? Why are you still haunting the mansion? Lies! You refuse to abandon this house and leave it to the common folk. Therefore, I will show no mercy. I don't think he's gonna listen to us, you guys. Something tells me we're gonna have to bust him again. I ain't afraid of no ghost, dude. It's time to face lumber justice! Since Archibald is a ghost, naturally physical attacks are pretty ineffective, which is why you don't want to use Stan and Wendy for this fight since they are primarily physical attackers. Hit him with all the magic that you've got. You can also inflict status ailments or debuffs on the boss, so that might be a good idea too. It's a tough battle, but Archibald is finally taken down. We receive EXP gold and our 5th mysterious page. Pacifica is now level 12 and learned how to use invisibility. Mabel is now level 13 and learned how to use Super Cure. Dipper is now level 13 and learned how to use Power Boost. Seuss is also now level 13 along with Stan and Wendy. Archibald's ghost turns into pure flame and dissipates with a loud, pained moan. Man, that guy can really hold a grudge. Weird to think we're related. Glad that's over with. Maybe now I can finally use the phone. Pacifica picks up the phone. Unfortunately, she doesn't hear a dial tone. Huh? She puts it back on the receiver, then picks it up again. Still no dial tone. What the heck? It's broken? Are you serious right now? Really, she slams the phone down onto the receiver. Ugh, now what am I supposed to do? Well, you could always keep adventuring with us. Yeah. I mean, we could still really use your help fighting all those monsters and stuff. With that bow, you're like the girl from the Deadly Tournament for Teenagers in a Dystopian Future books or something. I did like those movies. They were books first. Tell me you're scared you'll break a nail. Come on and live a little, princess. Alright, fine. But don't get the wrong idea. I'm not doing this because I like you guys or anything. I just don't have anything better to do. Yep, definitely Tsundere. Yo, special delivery! You give McGucket his tools and the machine parts. Sweet fancy molasses, you did it, fellas! I don't know how to thank you. Just get that thingamajig fixed up and working and we'll call it even. Alright, so this goes in here, like that. Screw the whirly-majig and the noodle hook. There, that should do the trick. Now we just push this here button. Something prints out of the machine. McGucket takes the printout. Now let's see here. It says, well, quite frankly, I ain't sure. Can I take a look? McGucket hands the paper to Dipper. It reads, and we are given yet another code. Stan grabs the paper out of Dipper's hands. Do you know what this is, Grunkle Stan? Yep, sure do. This is a load of balderdash is what this is. Perhaps we can help. You hand the printout to Candy. Candy's great at puzzles. The crossword writer for the Gravity Falls Gossiper cowers in fear of her. If the readings are all jumbled up, could be something ain't right. Maybe the whirly-majig needs to be reversed, the knob knocker upside down? I reckon if you give me more time I should have this up and fixed eventually. You go on without me. It's safe here as far as I can tell. We'll stay here too and see if we can interpret the data. If you come back later, maybe we'll have made some progress. Alright, good luck, girls. Good luck to you too, McGucket. See you later, fellas. Huh. It's like any time we need to go somewhere, a path opens up or we're transported there instantly. That is suspiciously convenient. And I bet if we go talk to the square guy now, he'll tell us where we need to go next. It's like this is all, I don't know, planned out or something. Now I'm worried. What if this is a trap and we're doing exactly what someone wants us to do? Like the time Jeff tricked us into collecting the gemulets. I'm surprised you even remember that adventure. It was repetitive and shallow, but the sights were fantastic. Of course, this is referring to the Gravity Falls 3DS game, Legend of the Gnome Gemulets. If you go way back in my YouTube channel, I think I still have a long play of it up. Go check it out if you feel like. That's so creepy, though. You think there's somebody out there, like, directing our every move? That's ridiculous. Nothing like that could possibly be going on. Right? Taking a look at the fifth mysterious page, if fog were non-existent, all lives would appear equally and indistinguishably clear, and this is actually the case in those unhappy countries in which the atmosphere is perfectly dry and transparent. Also looking at the odd note we found, Unlocking Saber is scrawled on it along with the drawing of a key. The message that was printed out by McGucket's machine is a Vigenère cipher, which requires a key in order to decode. The key here, written on the odd note, is Unlocking Saber. Decoding the message, it reads, if the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble into the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. These are, of course, lyrics to the song Stand By Me. It seems McGucket's machine is getting some sort of musical interference. Interesting. There you kiddies are! Someone happened to come by looking for you! Wait, seriously? Who was it? Small lad with large white hair, blue suit, pale skin, freckles? Another friend of yours, I presume? Gideon? He asked me to pass along some information when I next saw your little group. He requests you meet up with him at the entrance to the Crystal Woods as soon as possible. Apparently the situation is quite urgent. Well, we should probably at least go make sure the pasty little gremlin's alright. Yeah, and besides, Gideon's on our side now. He, repented his evil ways and stuff. You really think he's changed? I don't know. I mean, I hope so. I'll believe it when I see it. Look who's talking. Anyway, I think you're right, Grunkle Stan. Let's go see what he wants. Who knows? Maybe he found an important clue. Next stop, Crystal Woods. Checking the fortune teller machine one last time. My dearest master, My visions have told me the trouble caused by those two, whom you perhaps too mercifully insist on watching over, has not yet ended. Once more, that group of humans will be caught up in it as well. Therefore, I've sent someone who may be of assistance to them. He should be of no concern as long as he's paid well. I trust in you as always, but I confess it's often difficult to be certain of what may be a legitimate problem as opposed to what you're aware of and simply letting play out. Sincerely, your loyal disciple, Jesselbrom the Unswerving. A message from the Oracle to the Axolotl. All ready? Let's go. Crystal Woods ahead. Mabel! Oh, good heavens, when I heard you've been dragged back into all this danger, I got worried sicker than 110-degree fever. Thanks, I guess? Hello, we're here too? Oh, suppose you are. What's all this about, Gideon? Mr. Square said it was an urgent situation. Well, look at that. He actually passed my message right along. Guess he's no trouble after all. But what this is about, Dipper Pines, is what's happened to Gravity Falls. But that's even where we really are. What are you talking about? Yeah, I mean, for some reason it's all messed up, but this is still Gravity Falls, right? Actually, I ain't so sure. What makes you not sure? It's sort of hard to explain. Though if we go further into this part of the forest, I think I might be able to show you. You just gotta trust me. Do we have any other options? What's the worst that could happen? Based on previous experience, probably a lot. Don't you go worrying your pretty little head, Mabel. I'm here to protect you. And help the rest of y'all too, I guess. Great. This way, follow me. Gideon has joined your party. He is a 5-point star, 10 years old, former child psychic, desperately in love with Mabel, dislikes almost everyone else. Into the Crystal Woods we go. Because this level isn't in the released version, I'm not going to cut anything out. You get to experience it all in its full glory. Starting with a fight with some candy monsters. Gideon is something like a tanky mage. He specializes in shadow, water, and ice magic. He also has healing, so now Mabel isn't your only healer. Oh no, everyone but Gideon is sleeping. That's inconvenient. And now Gideon's asleep too. Well, everyone's just gonna be taking a nap here. It's fine, they've been through a lot. They deserve it. What's the worst that could happen? It's not like we all die, because we can't do anything. But oh, thank God, Stan has woken up. Let's hit these creepy little guys with the Tiger Fist. Ugh, these guys are actually really annoying to fight. They keep hitting my party with sleep and fear, which stops them from moving. This might take a little while. This is a reminder of how little I playtested this dungeon compared to the others. Forget it, I'm just gonna run away. Well, that was annoying. But hey, up here, we've got some treasure. Or, nope, gotta fight some enemies first. A Fiji Merman and Footbot. Yeah, you can kind of tell I was running out of enemies where it made sense to have them in a forest at this point. So there's a lot of really weird and random enemies in this level. Really glad we have Gideon's AoE attacks. Pacifica is now level 13 and learned how to use Weakening Spell. Oof. Already this stage is proving to be tougher than the rest. But hey, we got a magic flashlight. Gideon also hits like a wet noodle when it comes to physical attacks. Usually his physical attacks do very little damage, if none at all. If he doesn't have any MP left, or you run out of MP restoring items, just switch him out for another party member. Seeing if there's anything over here. Nope, nope, nope. Alright. Shimmery Twinkle Heart! What are you doing here? Yeah, like I said, really weird and random enemies in this stage. Alright, moving on. What's over here? Is there anything over here? It seems that there is. Well, there's a Footbot. Aside from that, there is some Summerween candy. Recovers 200 MP. No loser candy here. Oh, it's good to have that, because yeah, Gideon will eat through his MP very quickly. Griffins engage the party. Gideon is now level 13 and learned how to use Revive. Dipper is now level 14 and learned how to use Magic Boost. Zeus is also now level 14. Alright, yeah, we already need to give Gideon back some MP. Good thing we got these magic batteries. And back to the path here. Hand Witch! Oh, this is the rare enemy for this dungeon. Continuing onward. Got this big crystal over here. Go down here. A giant butterfly engaged the party. Oh hey, an enemy that actually makes sense in this dungeon. Fast Tornado! Oh boy. Well, thankfully, Gideon also has an AoE heal, Recover. Ah, yeah, I knew there was another mystery bag over here. Some smiled at. A Hand Witch again! I always love the fact she's wearing the same cloak as the Master from Manos, The Hands of Fate. The actor that played him actually kept the cloak and would wear it during Halloween when handing out candy to local kids, which is just incredibly based. Stan is now level 15 and learned how to use Tiger Stance. Oh, we need a heal though. And do we give... Yeah, let's use this magic battery on Mabel. I'm gonna save here, just in case. And keep heading down. I love it when I could actually get animations onto a stage in this game. They're really hard to do in RPG Maker, but I did manage to put in a few of them. Nothing over here. Shimmery Twinkleheart yet again. Rowing Crystal found. Gideon is now level 14. Mabel is now level 15, along with Wendy, who learned how to use Battle Cry. Growing Crystal. Let's see here. Raises all of an ally's stats for 3 turns if used during a battle. Makes sense. Makes you bigger. Oh. Glad I didn't forget this mystery bag here. Hermanos Brothers Taco. Nice. Hand Witch again! You're supposed to be the rare enemy, but I've encountered you like 3 times already. She went down before I could actually heal Gideon. And I got another Growing Crystal, and Dipper leveled up to level 15, where he now knows Mega Defense. Zeus also leveled up, and he learned how to use Cover. Okay. Now we heal Gideon. And head back down here to the next screen. Footbot and Fiji Merman. You know what? I want to save my MP because Mabel's running low. Oh, I guess I could use the Summerween candy. I don't want to fight 2 candy monsters either. That didn't go so well last time. Yeah, you know what? Let's use the... Should I use it on Mabel or save it for Gideon? Because I am out of magic batteries. Let's just wait. Go up here. Ooh. 2 giant butterflies, but more importantly, I spotted our mystery box for the stage over there. Yeah, I am the least familiar with this level out of all of them because it's obviously the one I playtested the least because it's not in the release version. Pacifica is now level 15 and learned how to use Speed of Light. Oh man, I love that song. I've never played Arknights, but that song is absolutely slaps. I adore it. Alright, here's our mystery box. From the Journal of Miss Atbash. So, once again, it's an Atbash cipher. After decoding it, it asks, what is Gideon's middle name? That would be... Charles. We received a Lost Lantern. Lost Lantern. The wayward souls within this lantern will give you magical power. Never let the flame go out. So I am gonna give that to Gideon to increase his magic attack and magic defense. Now there's an AU for you. Somebody draw Beast Gideon the way we have Beast work. I should have bought, like, way more magic batteries. I had plenty of money, I don't know why I didn't. Alright, Griffins are defeated, let's get going. Ah, another candy monster. At least it's just one. The two of them is actually pretty brutal. Probably would have needed a nerf in the final game. Based on that encounter earlier. Okay, now can we continue on? Alright, back here. Go up. More butterflies. And some griffins. Or actually just one griffin. You know what? I'm not even gonna fight him. Or I can't run away, never mind. Try one more time. Alright, there we go. Need to heal again. You know what? I'm gonna actually use my tacos. Yeah, there we go. Alright, just one butterfly, that's pretty easy. Butterfly down, on we go. Hand Witch again? Seriously? 4 encounters with the Hand Witch? That's crazy, I tell ya. Crazy. Got her. Gideon is also now level 15 and learned how to use Snowstorm. I believe that's an ice AoE magic attack. Zan is also now level 16. Oh yeah, we got a mystery bag over here, smoke bomb. Okay. I would have preferred like a magic battery, honestly, but that's fine. Just one griffin. Mabel is now level 16, Wendy is now level 16. Yada yada. Do you know that comes from a Seinfeld episode? I didn't know that until recently. I really need to save on my MP, and I'm probably going to use that Summer Bean Candy on Gideon. Oh, actually, it's more ice damage to one enemy. Okay, so it's stronger than, like, it's like a second level ice attack, right? Hey, it's been a few years since I've been actively developing this game. I don't remember everything. I'm glad I'm getting a refresher now, though. Ooh, that animation is neat. Alright, Footbot is down. Zeus is now level 16. I may need this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna swap Mabel out because we got Gideon for a healer, and she's completely out of MP now. So let's swap her for Pacifica. All right, let's give that Summerweed Candy to Gideon and save the game just in case. On we go. I think this might be the last screen before the mid-boss, but I'm not sure. I don't completely remember. Is there anything down here? Nope, just a giant butterfly. Healing up. Alright. Anything over here? Nope. Okay. Two griffins. And not gonna bother. What are we at now? 15, 15, 16, and 16. That might be okay. And I'm gonna save here in case this takes us into the mid-boss. Nope, not yet. It might be this screen. Or the next screen might be the one. Might be the one with the mid-boss. One griffin. Okay, that's easy XP. Pacifica is now level 16. Gideon begrudgingly heals Stan. He's not happy about it, but it needs to be done. And once again, gonna save, yeah, in case this is the mid-boss. Yep, here we are. There it is! What am I even looking at right now? Dude, it's a glitch in the Matrix. Literally, it's like the world isn't rendering correctly. You don't think? We're in some kind of digital simulation? That's my theory, anyway. So what, none of this is real? We're put into a big computer or something? That would definitely explain a lot. Well, except how or why. Yeah, even if this is virtual reality or whatever, we still don't... What was that? The trees shake, like something huge is moving through the forest. Oh, heavens to Betsy. Seriously? The giant robot? Who's piloting that thing? No one. I'm my own pilot now. Mabel, it's time for you to become my one and only queen. What? No way. If I won't go out with the real Gideon, what makes you think I'd date a huge fake one? Keep your metal mitts off of her. Come on, let's trash this big hunk of junk. I'll crush your family and make you mine, all mine. Giant Gideon bot, engage the party. Alright, like I said, I don't remember a whole lot about this boss. I will try lowering its magic defense. I'll have Dipper boost Gideon's magic attack, and Stan will use Power Break. Oh, well, okay. We're gonna need to revive Pacifica then. So Storm again, Dipper, buff Gideon again. Again, something he's not happy about doing, but it needs to be done, and Smile Dip on Pacifica. Yeah, I guess he's using electric attacks because he's a robot? Logic. Flawless logic. Okay, we can use... have Pacifica cast Truth Magic. Stan probably needs to heal. I'll have him eat a taco. Whew, that was close. Really? I lowered Gideon's magic defense that much, and Pacifica and Dipper's magic still hardly did anything. Okay. Maybe I need to do it again? Oh, that does a ton of damage. That does like 900 something damage. Okay. Using that snowstorm. Pacifica, please eat a taco, or none. We'd actually am out of tacos. That's unfortunate. Never mind. We'll have Gideon heal her then. Never use the earth magic. Use Wind Slash. Stan use Power Break. Actually, Power Break's probably not that good, because Gideon bot seems to be using a lot of electric magic. Super heal, Tremor, Wind Slash. Let's have Stan go into Tiger Stance. Alright. Okay, actually, what might be a good idea is if I have Pacifica cast Silence on the robot, so because that will prevent him from using the electric magic attacks. Let's use Tiger Fist. Right, Gideon bot cannot use magic. Alright, that's good. Ooh, and we paralyzed him. That's nice. Alright. Although we should heal Pacifica. I feel like he might be almost dead, but better safe than sorry. Alright, there we go! The giant Gideon bot is defeated! Yay! Gideon's party was victorious. We got a lot of EXP and a lot of gold. Gideon is now level 16. Stan is now level 17 and learned how to use Defense Break. Mindy is now level 17 and learned how to use Blizzard. Mabel is now level 17 and learned how to use Recover. The giant Gideon bot begins smoking and sparking before it completely falls apart. Are you alright, my sweet marshmallow? I'm fine, but listen, Gideon, even if we're not enemies anymore, I'm not... I know, it's just... Back when Bill held you prisoner, Dipper told me something. He said if I wanted you to love me, I had to be somebody worth loving. I know I've done some real awful things, so maybe I'll never be worth loving. But dang it, I'm gonna do everything I can to try anyway. Even if we're never anything besides friends, I still want to show you how much I care about you. To me, you'll always be my marshmallow, even if I ain't yours. Gideon. Mabel gives Gideon a small hug. Thanks, I'm glad you want to be a good guy now. Of course I do. You know I'd do anything for you. Jeez, would you two get a room already? Oh, whoops. Sorry, I guess we were kind of having a moment. Oh-ho? Who could this be? Hey dudes, what's that over there? Huh? Quick, we gotta follow it. Unfortunately, that brings us to the end of what is playable. However, the game is still far from over. In the next video, we'll go over this level's boss, as well as the rest of the game and bonus content. I'll see you there.